Hi everybody, welcome to this week's episode. This is episode 33. Is it 33 yet?
Yes.
Boom. And believe it or not, Ed's behind the camera. He made it all the way to Portugal and back in a 24-hour whirlwind tour. So you're not stuck with just me and Jim, you've got me, Jim and Ed. Today I want to walk around the workshop, find out what's happening there, and then tomorrow hopefully me, Ed and Jim's going to go out for a little drive. Carloom. What's the crack, son?
Just getting through these tests,
Ooh.
mate.
Green ticket
Green ticket. Not many of them today.
on the coupe.
Aye.
Shaminta.
But
What about that?
no.
Oh, looks like a minter. Does it? So M Coupe is just past MOT with flying colours, not even an advisory. So not because there's anything wrong with them, but this car needs to come back in towards the end of the week, possibly next week. It depends on the dairy for the Bilstein. I think shockers all the way around. I think they will be in the back. Yeah. So he's got all new springs and shockers and everything. They're ready to go onto that. I think we'll probably put this to bed. This will go to the storage unit with the other one. Couple little bits of marks on here, but apart from that, really nice car. Super clean and it's super standard, which is very unlike ours. This farm was recovered in this morning. I don't know where it is, but they were complaining of a noise basically. And when we took off the back of the recovery truck, a brake pad fell out of the caliper and it was just metal to metal, so I think that was the problem on the braking system there. Just quickly over here, super old school. Civic Saloon, water motor, back in the day. This is the Transit that had the, that was stolen and then got recovered again. So there was a lot of glass everywhere, no driver's window in, that was all hanging out. So Paul's put the new driver's window in. He's also fitted the can phantom to it. We've also put the new ignition barrel in with a matching key. We've done a software update, make sure there's no extra keys being coded and kept in there. So basically just record the key that we've got, so we know that that can't be taken again very easily. We'll get past here. So there's not much to see apart from basically there's a new key with a new barrel. Obviously changed the lock on the door as well. You can see bits of marks around there, I think where they've been trying to get in. It's also got an engine management light on. We need to look at that while that's on. But Eddie B will have a quick walk around here. That is the Transit engine. That is the old engine, so that's to go back to Ford. And that is the engine that is in here. So this is the new engine in. I mean, you can't really see much of it, to be honest with you. But that's the new motor in the hole. Clutch is all bled up, it's ready to go. The only thing that we need to do is, when I was swapping the parts over from one engine to the other on the weekend, the old engine actually fell over and the thermostat housing was on the floor and it's ended up smashing that. So that goes in there. So that's why I've kept the front end off for now. So once that thermostat housing turns up, I think it should be here pretty soon. That'll go onto there, and there's a little link pipe from that goes to the oil cooler, and that should be there watertight. What we'll do is we'll put the rad pack on, run it, make sure there's no leaks, nothing like that. So we're looking for oil leaks and water leaks basically. Once that's all together and we're happy that it's not got any little teething troubles or issues, we'll put the bumpers and everything on and get that back to the customer. This Fiat 500, this was in last week's video I think. It was basically just waiting for the passenger side mirror. It's got the ambient temperature sensor in the bottom of there, so it puts a fault on the dashboard. There seems to be a lot of things on the move. What's the crack with this one, son?
Needs fronts and pads, collar block, because the pad falling out. Needs a timber.
Possible injectors. Why is it rev so high? Oh. You got a black eye, Carl? You got a black eye? Aye. Carl's last been digging them. Oh. This was just in for MOT, failed on a couple of bits and bobs, nothing major. Just getting a bulb in there. This is the happy wiring cone here. Upside down wiring.
No, put it where it was meant to be. Same as it came with.
That's not
All
what
right, mate.
that's
What's
not-
going on?
That's not what I've heard when I plugged it in. There was quite a bang
There's a boom.
and blew the
Well, that's
fuse
what
Explosion.
in half.
I put it in the same place as the 1 and 2, the way it was.
The 2 and the 1.
I think they changed it. Right. We'll quickly go and get a new fuse for that. What size is that? Oh, you've got the fuse?
Yes.
Unbelievable. Like. Unbelievable. Let's have a quick look, see what we've got outside. Those wheels need to go back to We Buy Cars For More because they supply them for the Range Rover Evoque, but they're way too big. They didn't fit at all. In here, not that I can see like, but I think this is going to be the 1 litre Eco Boost. You have a look? Why not? Let's have a little look. There's a lot. Is that a few? I was thinking there. I was thinking there's a lot of smoke there, like. Right. Buying quite a lot of engines direct from Ford at the moment. They seem to have a lot of problems with the 2 litre diesel. I think Eco Blue they call them, and also they have problems with these 1 litre Eco Boosts. But they're bringing the price down all the time with the engines because obviously the amount of failures they have, the more failures, the cheaper the engines seem to get. I should have got an electric screwdriver. Right. Yep, so in there. Yep, so 1 litre Eco Boost. Comes with a new water pump on it, and that is about it. Oil cooler, oil filter. Very similar to the 2 litre Eco Blue and what it comes with. I mean, the motor's totally different, obviously. Oh, Gary, what are you doing here, sir?
Who's cousin? There's somebody in there, Mark.
There is somebody in there. Hopefully it's a man with a large wallet. Gary, we're live on 5 here.
I'm telling you, somebody in
And
that
you're
box.
pretending to be Gary Liquor. Well, he needs a job, doesn't he? So he'll not go back there, man. Right, so 1 litre Eco Boost has to go in the Focus. Hopefully that'll get a little start on possibly go on Ram 2, and that'll get started tomorrow. Are you sure, Gary? What we got on the shelf, guys? That's
What's on the shelf?
what's on. Let's have a little game.
Have a look on
It's the Monday game show of what's on the shelf. What we got?
That is for multi-connect.
Yeah.
For the brakes and whatever you come for.
Ford?
That's for to go with that. So if we put them.
That's not with that.
That's what.
No, it's not. Gary,
You know? Well, Chuck Norris said this morning that they went with that.
I believe
I believe it's so.
that this is a thermostat housing.
No. That's only because it's right on the top. You cheated, didn't you?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh, connect, do what? Well, that,
That does say thermistor housing. In German, of course.
in German.
I thought it's not made in Germany.
Cologne, isn't it? Oh no,
Oh,
they're
Cologne.
not. The transit plants in the UK.
Is it? No.
There you go.
All right.
That's a bit I smashed. So,
You go on with that then.
Gary, you're just making this up as you go along.
Not honestly, Chuck Norris came in this one.
What's that? What are the balls for?
Anyway, so we've got a part-time delivery driver because our usual person is
Sunning it up.
Sunning it up in you'd be in Magaluf or something like that. Even though he's like 70.
Aye.
Anyway, so the new driver who's delivering parts
Recovery driver?
actually looks like Chuck Norris. Yeah.
He is Chuck
We'll
Norris.
see if we can get him on film this week because he is an international film star.
He is.
Yeah. Moving on.
That caliper was fitted this morning to the Vivaro. That is all the parts off the transit to go back.
That needs to go back because that's another. So we get a lot of customers called Mr. What? Mr. Waste of Time.
Waste of time. What about this customer? Is this a Mr. What? Or is he rebooked?
That's been rebooked, that one. That's for the mini with the chain and whatever. That's.
This is
for
to go
next
back.
week. That needs to go back to Riverview Cars.
Well, today's what's on the shelf.
That's what's on the shelf.
Is that for that Fiat?
For,
Bottom right.
That's for the BMW, that's for Marks, which is just past the MOT.
With flying colours, sir.
Of course.
Green certificate. Not an advisory on that vehicle.
That is for stock.
Is that the mirror?
Miro. It's the Miro for that.
We'll get Paul to do that.
Oh, I better turn this way because I don't want the viewers to get excited when I bend down and show them my backside. Cut that out, please, Ed.
Jimmy, come here.
Make sure you.
Jimmy's trying to do a Gary News sign language.
Gary, there's a customer on the telephone for you, mate.
He's requesting to talk to you, Gary.
Because it'll be heavy and overrated. Sorry.
Oh no, no, no.
No.
Gary's gonna get his own show. They're not so busy, not as busy as Jimmy's show. Right. Oh, we don't even need to go outside, Ed.
No.
There's so much happened inside, don't need to go outside. That's all I've got for you today. Hopefully with me, Ed and Jim, we're going to go out for some food somewhere tomorrow and we'll take the camera with us. And we'll possibly show you a bit of the camera gear that we use. Thanks very much for watching today and we'll see you Tuesday. Thanks. Right, we're back in the workshop after our little lunch date. So that was supposed to be recording when we're having our lunch, just basically talk about what we're going to do in the future, but when we got there was music blasting, so it didn't work out anyway. So we've ended up back at the workshop. The couple of things we're going to go through is the thermostat housing's just arrived. I've just quickly put that on there. So there's a new thermostat housing, the thermostat housing was actually alright, but I dropped it. It didn't do any good when I did drop it, so that I think goes onto there. That's onto there. 2 pipes there to take off the other one. Eddie B, I'll get some pliers. Put the pipes on properly because I'll forget. So right. So just before I forget, I'll put these on. There it goes. I hate them when they do that. The world's worst. And now I'm going to have to go and get the right ones because I got the wrong pliers, Ed. I think. Or not. Can I make it work? Boom. Right, that's right. And I also need to put them ones on because I forgot them the other day. I hate these clips. They might be fast in the factory, but honestly they're the worst clip in the world. This could be a long video for me to get this clip on here. I absolutely despise these clips. Oh Ed, this is just trying to kill me. There we go. Right, slightly better. Yep, that's on there, that clip. Bottom one's on, so we've got the hose to go from here, runs up to here, and there's one big one, runs down there. Got the radiator hose here. So, that's not too bad. Aha. So, this is the hose that I need to put on. The hose was alright, like I say, but I did drop it. I dropped the old engine, so that's what happened to that. Does that go on there, you think? That almost looks right. Looks like it goes on there. It's pretty good. Need to just push that in there. I'm gonna have to get the proper tool. Unbelievable. So that should. That's it. One on. Two on. Right, so I'm happy with that hose there. A little bit of OCD, I'll make sure that clip is on there properly. So them two are on now, thermostat housing fitted. That'll want the rad pack on the front. Basically we'll run it the way it is there now, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. Top of the power steering fluid, and that goes into there for your water bottle. Right, so that's pretty much ready for Michael to jump back onto now. So he's back where he started. Clutches, blade, everything's pretty much done. This fan is in for, I believe, a drive shaft. Let's have a quick look at this. This van got recovered in by us as a non-runner. Sorry, it was a runner, but it was a non-driver. So when you let the clutch out, you can hear a pretty loud noise. We've asked if we can get a new shaft, but unfortunately nobody's got one at the moment. There's not one available to dealers, and there's also not one in the aftermarket yet. So I think we'll have to take the shaft off and get it rebuilt. I don't know whether it'll be to see the damage or not. Aye. So, basically that's the drive shaft. Obviously when I turn the wheel, that should be turning with it. But at the minute you can see is that there's not turnings. And it's just doing a welding job. This mocker is in for... What's the matter with this, Michael?
I think the seal's broken inside the safe and the box. Now the part outside. Got too much plate. It's flopping about.
On the outside of the box.
Aye, on the outside box.
So I haven't got to take the box out.
Nah.
Lovely.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that. Right, so that's got a problem with the slave cylinder seal. Hopefully we can keep the gearbox in. This came in yesterday for MOT. Failed on a couple of things. Pretty much done now. Or the fail has been done. It looks like it wants rear shoes there, and a couple other bits and bobs. We've also, this is the 1 litre Eco Boost that took a rod through the block. So in the under tray, That piece there was in the under tray. That's actually the pin that holds the piston onto the cotton rod. So that is definitely not what you want to see in your under tray. If you see that, open your wallet. So there's the old engine there. We've already got the new engine in. I'll just move that there. The new engine's in there, obviously gearbox back in, it's actually been running nice and warm. So there's a little leak on the exhaust and he's going to repair that. Basically just cracked the exhaust pipe where the con rod comes through the block, so I can get a torch. So there's the hole in the block there, obviously not very good. If you can see that light there, through there, that is not what you want. So if you have got a hole in the block or you've got an EcoBoost problem, just bring forward, buy a brand new engine. I wouldn't bother with a Recon. They come in a crate like that. Obviously this one would normally involve a surcharge and we'll send that back, but with having a hole in the block there's no point because the surcharge is defunct then. The last thing today is this was the van that was towed in and the gearbox had basically fell out the van. So what happened is this bracket here, this had snapped off, so the original bolts had all sheared. I'm assuming one was either left slack or if one bolt sheared, it's obviously put strain on the other ones. So that's a new bolt there. We managed to drill a couple of them out, but a couple of them had actually pulled it out and damaged the casing. So what we've done is, we can get these out. What we managed to do is we've put a steel insert, which is called a time insert. We'll put that steel insert inside the gearbox. So that's done a good job of that. All we're waiting for now is this gear change cable. So these gear change, this sits on top of the gearbox like that. Your gear change cables go into these brackets here, and that changes the gear when you move the knob on the dash. But unfortunately, when it's dropped down, it's actually snapped off two of the brackets and we're only left with one. That would never work properly because when you change gear, that would try and lift rather than being nice and tight. Couple other bits of problems with brackets that have snapped as the engines fell. It's also lost all its water. So I think it's either the bottom hose is detached or it's the radiator itself could have split. And same as that van, this drive shaft will need to go away for a rebuild because it's actually split the shaft on the inner joint as well at the same time. And these little JLC 220 Merc is in. So I said before, he's going to Ireland for a rally. So that car's just getting a quick once over before he goes up to Edinburgh tonight. I possibly could be here in the morning, maybe he's not. If I'm not in, we'll get Jim or Gary or both of them, and Ed will be still behind the camera. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you sometime this week. Cheers. Right, hi everybody on Wednesday. So I spent a couple hours in the garage this morning and then headed down to Can Phantom just to see what's happening down there and some new products that are coming out by them. Also just going through some of the obviously the products they've already got. So the original Can Phantom is still going strong. We've also been talking to an insurance company. Can't say what insurance company it is yet, but we've been talking to an insurance company about them basically getting their customers to fit a Can Phantom to every car of a certain make and model. So some of the statistics that they give us is that they're looking at 60 Range Rovers and a very similar number between 60 and 70 transit vans every week go missing and that they don't get back. So there's more than that get pinched obviously, but that's literally just one insurance company that we spoke to. 60 transit vans or 60 Range Rovers and about the same number of Range Rovers. So if you've got a Range Rover Transit van, or even I'm driving the BMW M4 at the moment, that's apparently another hot car to be stolen. If you've got any of those cars, you should definitely ring it up and look at it, getting a Can Phantom. Just before I left, I seen that the Transit is running, the one that had the new engine in, so that's all running, ready to go. The Focus running, that's done. That's also had the new engine, the Eco Boom. So the Focus Eco Boost and the Ford 2 litre that goes in the new Transit. We've fitted quite a few of those lately, so make sure you keep on top of your servicing if you have got one of those. And also just make sure that you stick to the schedules. We've been through service schedules before. Make sure if it says every 10k, 12k, whatever, make sure you stick to that. I'm going to keep this video really short. That'll do for today. Hopefully I'll have some news for you tomorrow to see what went on a Can Phantom. I'm going to try if I can to get away pretty early in the morning and get back to the garage, because I know Andy's already away in Ireland with the rally car, so that leaves me down to MOTs. So as long as I get back before lunch, I'll get them MOTs that are booked in done. Thanks very much for watching the short one on Wednesday, and we'll see you Thursday. Cheers. Hi everybody, I'm back from Can Phantom. So as soon as I got back this morning, it was straight into it. I ended up back into some workshop clothes because we've got a couple of guys off, so I ended up having to get a little bit dirty. This is the van that we spoke about the other day. So on this one we'll just wait on some parts. There was the gearbox mount had basically snapped off, so went through that, the drive shaft had all fell apart. I pulled lots of wires, cables, pipes had come off. Obviously the gearbox had just fell to the floor. So that's all back up and running now. You can hear now the van's running perfect. Water's all topped up. Everything that was leaking is done. All the wiring has been repaired. There's also a fuel pipe had been kinked as well. So that is pretty much good to go now. All new gearbox bracket on. That is done. So Michael can take that for a little run. The battery's a little bit flat, so we'll have that. Michael, I'll have to sort that out. Right, I'll leave that there for Michael. He can sort the bottle catch out. Needs a little bit of greasing. This one here is in for MOT. Hopefully that just flies through later on. I'm hoping to fly through because the workload is absolutely crazy at the minute. But anything in these little jobs will be to get that done. This is Galfen's, I think, is it a Citroen one? Citroen, same Peugeot Citroen. So this is in for an oil pressure solenoid. Basically you can change the pressure of the oil for different circumstances in the engine. So I think the new one is there. So there's a new solenoid there. That's just a little 2-wire solenoid. That changes the pressure, the oil pressure in the engine for whatever the ECU wants at the time. So the only problem is that was the old one. So if you look there, there's obviously a piece missing. So that piece there is actually still stuck in the engine. It's not in a bad place. It's literally just here on the front. You won't be able to see it. It's pretty dark up there, mind. But that's stuck in. So what I like to do is try and take off this boost pipe and a couple other little things. And then what we'll do is we'll try, if we can, I think we'll probably drill that, tap it, and then we'll put like an 8mm or a 6mm stud in, and we'll use a little slide hammer and pull it out. That's the theory. Whether it works or not, I'm not too sure. Then down here, if I can slip down here, this was recovered in the other day with it started up, but there was no drive, so we assumed it was a clutch. But actually when we've got to strip down the drive shaft, I think this van's been doing a little bit of off-roading, I think. but basically the drive shaft joint on the outer had just spun inside the cup, so obviously it hasn't got a limited slip diff, so he put it into gear and it was just spinning that shaft looking for a bit of drive. Health check of the rest of the van was alright, but that shaft's getting rebuilt. Callum's on with this Range Rover. That is a pretty bad tyre. I'm sure Callum's already picked it up on the health check. Brake pipes look pretty bad. To be honest with you, that tyre's not amazing either. That's nearly down to the wire on the inside. So, big old Range Rover Vogue. When they start getting a few years in, that's when the big bills start coming in. We'll go and see how Callum's getting on. Hello, Callum. Callum, you look sick of your life.
It's not very fun.
It's not very fun. That's the motor trade, son, isn't it? Oh, it's off, man. He's saying there, state of his life, he's already got it off, man. I'm going to do you a big favour here, Cal. Look at that. Unbelievable. I can see I was a big part of this job now. So basically there's only 3 bolts holders on, but getting them 3 bolts is not quite the easiest thing in the world. So you can't get the alternator down here because I can get my hand in, but the alternator say that size. It won't get out of there. We're hoping to take it out the top, but normally what we'd do on these 4.4s, this is a 4.4 V8, what we'd normally do is we'd normally take off the coolant pipe at the top, but this car, so if you look on here, this car's actually already got a coolant leak. So, and it's coming from the thermostat housing that we would normally unplug from. So what we don't want to do is just unplug that from the thermostat housing and snap it off, because then obviously you get into a bit of a thing with the customer of who done what. We've already talked about this thermostat housing, and he is going to rebook, but I know the customer needs a car for a wedding, I believe, on Sunday. So hopefully this car will be done tomorrow morning. I know Callum's nearly got the alternator out, but I know there is probably still another 2.5 hours to get that back together. This little note, this I believe failed on, no, it wasn't MOT even, sorry, this came in for health check for funny noise, and basically what it was the spring had snapped, so every time the car was going up and down, you hear that creaking of the snap spring. Good?
Fuse is blown.
Ah! But Michael said he had checked every single fuse. Michael, you said to me, I've checked every single fuse. I was hiding. Unbelievable.
On the video, it's the one that the man said was a washer, not the fuse.
Mickey the Fuse. Used to be called Mickey the Box, now it's Mickey the Fuse. So is it sorted?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. This basically was in for MOT. It failed on 2 drive shaft boots. One was insecure, one was split, and no washers, or no windscreen washer fluid. We're literally just about to find out now the big reveal.
No cheesecake, though.
No cheesecake is left in this vehicle overnight,
Aye.
unfortunately. Right, we'll come back to this because Paul's going to be plugging stuff in. Paul's been on the G-Wagon today. What have you been doing the G-Wagon, Paul? What have you been doing the G-Wagon, Paul?
What I've been doing on it?
Aye. I seen you did.
The mirror wiring at the far side, everything's all finished at the far side now. It's all just going to be connected up here.
Boom. So, that mirror's done. This mirror, I hate that buzzer. Alright, okay, so he's pretty much got all the wiring done on this door now, so hopefully the door card can go back on. That door card can go back on as well. There's not, I've said it a million times, there's not loads to do on this car yet, really, but it's just getting time to pull them off that to go on to, off something else to go on to this. But I've promised Gavin that this car will be back very soon, so I need to do it really. What's happening, Jimmy?
Keep him busy.
Keep him busy?
Keep him busy.
Can we get that red Vogue? That needs to go on to 9.
Red Vogue on 9.
On 9, and the little drive shaft oil, see the one, the little Mazda? That needs to go on to 5 once the drive shaft's into that.
Right.
For that'll be Ken's first job, I think.
Right, needs swept there.
Um,
The red Vogue is the Twin City, not Twin, is it Twin City?
Twin City, yeah.
Twin City, yeah.
This one was the one that was recovered in. The battery's on charge there. I don't think, for some reason, this battery's been on charge for 2 days. You know why it's not charging? Because I haven't switched it on. Unbelievable. Anyway, so battery's on charge eventually now. That was recovered in with no drive. The battery was only flat because the guy was stuck at the side of the road for a couple of hours while he was waiting for us getting all the jobs done. Then we basically got to him. So that needs a clutch and flywheel. That had lost drive. This is the Focus Eco Boost. This is the one that will put the engine in. It's running absolutely mint. Gary took it home last night. Probably did about 30 miles in that car. Absolutely perfect. This is a friend of ours. This is Dan's Audi A6. He's gone pimp my ride. It's a little bit low that. That's actually snapped the spring, so we're going to replace a pair. They're a bit of a nightmare to do with a multi-link suspension at the top. Sometimes the bolt doesn't want to come out, but if it does, it does. It doesn't, it doesn't. This is another engine job. This is the transit that will put the engine in. This also is running perfect. This literally just wants bits of under trays and things sticking on and just a final check after the test drive. Once that's all been checked over, that'll probably go back to the customer tomorrow because I know he does need this. Range Rover, this got the injectors tested. 3 of the injectors failed and somehow 3 of them didn't fail. I've never had injectors come back without failing, they normally always fail. But 3 of these were within tolerance, 3 of them failed, so got 3 new injectors there to go into that. Hopefully we'll get that done tomorrow. And that's the same, that just wants, that's the one that had the body off. That wants all the wheel arch liners putting in, trimming up, that'll be ready to go. This is a customer's Transit, came in for MOT. Failed on quite a bit really. And also that passenger drive shaft needs doing, the dog bolt mount needs doing. So there's lots of stuff on the MOT it failed on, and lots of stuff that there isn't a failure, category 4 on MOT, but he still wants it done to get the van mint. This Range Rover Vogue is the one for We Buy Cars Some More. This just wants a couple of little things to finish it off. We're just waiting for that panel to get painted. Once that's on, get that on there, clear all the errors down, because obviously that's sensors unplugged and all that sort of stuff, and then that'll get road tested. This one's in for later today or tomorrow, in for a couple of springs, and then Billy Hotterly's Transit. That broke down yesterday. We got that recovered straight away from him. Luckily for him or for us, because we haven't got any time, that was just a secondary battery, so it basically the batteries wouldn't take charge. All the others working fine. Once that power came down, it was sending all the dash haywire. What else have we got? This was in for a diag, but believe it or not, it was just a fuse. It wasn't a big job, so that'll be going out tonight. The Hubway plant hire. So that Hubway van is in for a clutch and flywheel. They actually recovered this to us. They've got their own big low loader obviously, so that got recovered in by them yesterday. And this is, well, this is my M4. This is the car I went down to Can Phantom in. Very, very rare I use that car. And it was apparently sort of, I think it was going to snow yesterday, but so rather than take the Range Rover, obviously I took the M4 in the snow. Luckily for me, it didn't snow, and even luckily that the tyres had all been changed, so it was running absolutely perfect. Camper van, I'm hoping to get onto that as soon as possible. That's literally all we've got for you today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers. Hi everybody, welcome to Friday's episode of this week's video. Today's been as busy as ever really. Andy hasn't been in today. He's been otherwise engaged. It has just been mental. Next week, me and Gary have looked through the diary to try and plan ahead for get some parts and things organised for next week. Excuse me, it's absolutely crazy. We have got more staff starting in the first week of April, so I was going to say that'll take a bit of load off us, but to be honest with you, what happens is every time we get more staff, we just get more work. So, but we're like it crazy because that's what we are. This was in for MOT. It failed on loads of little bits of bobs, brakes and things, and there was a little bit of welding to do. So it's rare you would get some at this age needing welding, but what's happened is someone's actually jacked that up on the sill, on the outer sill, rather than using the jacking point there, and it's just crushed that, and then obviously that's just rotted away. This VW Tiguan, this has been with us for a while, but today was its appointment day, I suppose. So what's happened is, it's coming as a non-start, but you bridge a relay under here, a little start. So when we've looked on the wiring diagram, basically that relay there is fed from a switched earth on the ECU. We've looked, that ECU is actually full of water. That's what's given us a problem. So before we do anything else, that needs a new ECU programmed in, and we'll go from there. Schmeichel, is it mint?
Not yet, this one hasn't been charged.
What?
So it says that one's dead and the other one's 99.
Does that switch on?
No, it goes straight off. It says 1% and goes off.
Mate, I was going to do the wheel alignment on that when the machine charges itself, apparently. Unbelievable, Michael. Unbelievable. This little Peugeot was in for just some warranty work through a third-party warranty company. I think that was in for a little oil leak, and it's automatic. The gearbox wasn't changing properly, a couple other things. This hubway van is in for the clutch and an MOT. I've put it in the schedule for next week, but I'm going to try if I can to get that done over the weekend. I doubt it's going to happen. I'm definitely not working Sunday. I'm having Sunday off. This van is the van that will put the engine in. Been waiting a couple of little bits and bobs from the dealers. They're all here now. That'll get that van finished off, get it back to the customer. My toolbox looks absolutely horrendous. This Evoque was the same. We're just waiting on a couple of bits from the dealers. They've come in now, so that's on the ramp ready for Monday morning. Because, I'm saying Monday morning because it's now 10 to 6 on Friday night. Ed's been waiting all day to do this video, but I've just never had 30 seconds. So these parts have arrived and we'll get them in Monday morning. And believe it or not, you heard it here first. Paul is working on the G-Wagon. Look at that. Grilled up and everything. Oh, centre of locking. Mirrors. Look at that. Unbelievable. Does the indicators go through the mirrors? Look at that. Oh, that's a bit.
It's not taking up the bottom, I'm just pouring.
Ah. So Paul spent a little bit of time on this, just because Gavin was threatening to come and give him a hand, so I think he's got a big push on. Look at that, it's all tidy in the front as well. You know exactly where to find Paul, next to the torch on his phone, because that's never ever been off since I met the man. So, well, there's still quite a bit of doing it, but Gavin's going to come in apparently tomorrow and give... he's going to get some lessons off Paul in G-Wagonitis. My sister's car, so I'm going to do that probably tonight, ready for a pick up tomorrow. I've still got the M4 out. Neighbours were over the moon this morning when I started that thing. Little McGann is in for a clutch pipe that was supposed to be getting done today, but that just didn't get done, it was that busy. Passat's in for next week for a diag. I'm half convinced it's an in-tank fuel pump. This big thing's in for Monday for a clutch and flywheel. Lost all drive, guy was with the side of the road for quite a while. That Discovery is feeling very sorry for itself. That's got a big leak on the back, that's coming from another garage. That'll probably go and look at the airbags and the compressor. Normally what happens is you let the leak go on and on and on forever, then the compressor's working too hard, before you know it needs a compressor and two airbags. This is the van that the gearbox fell out of. That's all done apart from what we hadn't realised was when the gearbox fell down, there's one of the pulleys on the engine's actually rubbed a tiny little hole into a boost pipe. So we've found the hole, we're not going to repair it, we're going to put a new boost pipe on there, get the van mint. So that boost pipe here Monday, hopefully that'll get fitted. 20-minute job max. This is the van that we put the engine in. There's lots of engines going to lots of vans at the moment. That's all done. Gary's going to take it home with him tonight, and then hopefully that'll be hassle-free motoring for a long time for that gentleman. This one was the one for the drive shaft. We've got a drive shaft rebuilt. Actually, we couldn't buy one. I don't know if they're on back order or the van's just a little bit new before they start giving us shafts to the aftermarket or even the dealers. Anyway, that we got all done. The only thing is the customers asked us while it's in if we can have a quick look at why the aircon's not working. There's Big Jimmy. We've just caught him. Come on, Jimmy. Come on down, contestant number 1. Not so busy now, are you? This was in for a dry shaft oil seal. Nice, easy job. There's a little mini, the other side of there. That's in for a clutch next week. That big ambulance was in for... It's the only one in the fleet where basically the medics are saying that the handbrake's not holding as well as it should. We tried it on our brake rollers 4 or 5 times. It was certainly good for us. But because a couple of complaints went in that they didn't think it was quite as effective as it should be, we just replaced everything on the back end due to the customer request. They just said we want new, so it was discs, shoes, pads, cables, everything, you name it. Just as that van's had everything on the handbrake done, everything but the lever really. And the milk float, we're literally just waiting on authorization. So this week has just been upside down, back to front, been really, really busy, but really, really good. I would be complaining a lot more, I suppose, if I had no work coming in and the guys were standing around with a finger up. Someone's coming to pick a car up. They're amazed it's a camera. So that's all we've got for you this week. All I ask you to do is just keep subscribing. We're up to, we're close to 6,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. And what I really need to do is All About Cars UK to please get in contact to claim his £500. We've got your money here, we can't wait to give you it, but unless you contact us, we don't know where to send it. We can do it either way. You can come and collect the cash if you're local. I don't even know if you're in this country. I'm assuming you are, because your channel's called All About Cars UK. So just contact us, call, email, any way you want. Get in contact with Team Valley MOT and we'll make sure we get you that money. All I want to say is, as well as just thanks very much for everybody subscribing, watching, sharing. Keep on doing that for us and we'll just keep on making the content. Thanks very much for watching and we'll see you next week. Thank you.